2-0 streak, or will Virtus.Pro finally shut the door here against the Swedes? So we'll take a look at the setup right out of the start. You got Pasha, who's going to get boosted quickly. He's going to move his way up towards the catwalk and get a better perspective there. Snacks is taking some damage, though. Snacks was over there inside of mid. He's going to become smoked off there, quickly peeking out, and a great job by the Crims by causing so much damage, and that's going to go ahead and force Pasha back. But now you've got Neo, who was boosted up on top. That has caused a little bit of a damage, but not too much. That smoke grenade is going to slow things down, though. There is a 3-2 split that's happening. They're actually going to rotate around. They're making it seem as if there's 2 players over there towards catwalk, but in fact, there's actually 4 that are going to be heading over here towards long A. Bialy's going to kind of draw in some gunfire there, but Pasha's going to be in a really tough spot as he's going to fall there. So back over to Bialy. Bialy holding down here inside of the A bomb site. Great shot by there, picking up the first one, but he's going to have to do this all by himself as, I apologize, Taz is now with him. It wasn't Bialy by himself. It's now Taz down to a 1 versus 2. Olivmeister just down below. That flashbang will come over the top, and Olivmeister with a jumping Glock headshot, and they'll be able to pick up the round. So Fnatic starting this one off, carrying over from what they did in the first 2 maps.
Yeah, and all that early damage dealt to Pasha down to like 9 HP, forcing him to rotate off of catwalk, and then Fnatic just rotating towards long and coming from a different direction entirely. And Pasha had rotated there, and you know, with that much health, you just can't mount much of a defense. And they managed to crunch that A bomb site so well.
So it looks like they're going to go straight for him as they've got Bialy. He's going to be grouped up there with his teammate Neo. Neo's going to try to run away as fast as he can. He is being chased by Flusha, and Flusha is getting taken out there by Neo. So they've gone back and forth. They're going to be a quick boost up there for his teammate. Let's go and take a look here. I believe that's Snacks. Snacks just over the top. They're going to rotate back around now. There is one player there inside of mid. That's going to be JW from Fnatic. So he's going to go ahead and pop out that flash. He tries to peek out right before it pops, and he almost takes out Taz. So Taz is going to go ahead and fall back now. So they've regained position here for Virtus.Pro.
Check out Neo on the flank from long, though.
Well, let's go and switch over here, get that perspective. You can see that he's moving up inside of mid, but they will lose that player over there towards catwalk. That's going to draw Neo in that direction, but the action is actually going to be taking place over here inside of B. So we'll switch over here to Pasha, who's got the scout. He's going to continue to try to pop some shots, and that's going to do it. There's going to be a quick rotate there from JW from CT Spawn, picking off Neo, and so now the score is going to be 2-0. They did take out 2 players, though, from Fnatic.
Yeah, and just really quick, I want to say this map is so important for Virtus.Pro. The way this pick ban phase from the map, we've seen Fnatic do such a great job of it. First in that loser finals against iBuyPower, but now Train and Nuke, such CT-sided map. Fnatic will be starting as a CT on both of those, and this map is so very important for Virtus.Pro to pick up. Yeah,
just for reference, though, for those of you at home, Fnatic did choose this map, which meant that Virtus.Pro selected the CT side off the start. So that's just put that in the back of your head and kind of soak that up for a moment. So this is selected by Fnatic. Of course, there's only so few maps to select from, so. Now you've got Snacks, who's right there inside of mid. He's going to get hit there by Crims. Crims just on the other side. Bomb is dropped currently inside of the B tunnels. They haven't decided to push towards the B-bomb site yet. You do have Taz here and 3 players that can quickly rotate from the CT spawn. Taz is going to go ahead and make the call out. They are rotating fast now, and Taz caused quite a bit of damage as he's going to go ahead and push inside the site. On board with JW. JW picking up that quick shot there onto window, and it's going to be left up to Bialy down to a 1 versus 4. And a bomb will get planted and just try to cause a little bit more damage there at the end, but this next round will go in there. So Fnatic leading now 3-0.
Yeah, and a pretty cool anti-eco from Virtus.Pro storming through the window like that with so many players. Trying to catch them off guard, but Fnatic not going to fall for those kinds of things.
All right, so now we'll see our first real gun round. The only difference is we will not see an AWP coming out just yet because they haven't really gotten that many kills. If you look on the other side, there's only been 6 collective kills in those past 3 rounds. So not a lot of money to work with after that. They do throw out a decoy, just kind of delaying inside of mid for a little bit, which probably won't draw much out of that. Pronex is just going to push right through. He is completely uncontested, but there will be Neo. Neo's going to be right there on the side. He's going to spot him. They're going to go ahead and rotate. Now you're going to see that Neo's going to try to push right through that flash. He does spot one, looking for another one. He's able to take down both of them, but the action's happening inside of the site right now. as Snacks is right there. He's finally going to get picked off there by JW. JW down to this that 1-on-3, but that's going to finish it as now score is going to be 3-1.
Yeah, looking really good for Fnatic as they just kind of did a really quiet mid to B split, not opting to throw smoke over that wall in mid, just walk out and do it manually from there. And Neo just shutting it down by coming through that smoke. Really aggressive play from him.
I mean, we've watched how Dust 2 has kind of evolved over time. We saw that that quick 3-2 split, that split towards the B bomb site going from mid and from the B tunnels. And really that smoke has really been that deterrent to try to push through. And so you saw what Neo did by throwing out the flash and still pushing through. That worked into their benefit there at the end.
Yep. And Neo actually gets a nice pick on an Opper at long on Flusha, who had the nice spawn. But JW now picks that up, and it almost would have been better to keep it in Flush's hand. JW can do so much damage with it.
So we're taking a look. Pasha going to try to hold it down here inside of the A-bomb site. He has one teammate that's with him over there towards long. We're going to start to be able to retake you. Here comes the flashes over the top, and he will fall to the JW AWP. And so they're going to go ahead and push here, rotating quickly now. There is one player that could be lurking about here in a little bit. That's going to be Olafmeister. Bomb is going to get planted inside of the A-bomb site, inside of that smoke. He exchanges it for another M4, so Neo just recycling those weapons. And now Olafmeister over inside of the pit, and he gets picked off there by Snacks. So a great job by Snacks. And Neo again getting into this site and getting those much-needed kills, but Snacks closing the door.
Yeah, so much aggression from Neo, just causing such a disruption in how Fnatic was planning on playing that post-bomb plant, and then Snacks with those two nice op shots to just kind of clean it up. But you're seeing on their rotates with such conviction, they're just getting into the action and making an impact.
So now the score 3-2. We'll see here, of course, we've got a CZ there in the hands of Olafmeister. And finally, now we see that op in hand. They've got two ops. In fact, you got one in the hands of Snacks from that previous round. And so now they're going to be pushing up there inside of mid, able to pick off Flusha pretty quickly. And they're going to be heading over here inside of the B bomb site. And they may be uncontested for a little bit. Now they have players there to be able to rotate through. They're going to push right into the site. That's going to be Pasha picking up the first one. They don't have a single player there inside of the site and trying to draw them out. They will get the bomb planted, and JW picks up two very crucial kills here. And now it's going to be down to this 2-on-2 just on the other side, trying to sandwich in. Down to this 1-on-1. Krim's on low health, and he doesn't have any ammo to work with there. And so Bialy is going to go pick up that op before he gets the defuse here. So now we've all tied up at 3.
And once again, JW's CZ just doing so much work for them, just causing that to be so much closer than it should have been. And Snacks with that op in the window watching B. You know, once they started coming, he kind of got blinded, and he decided smartly, instead of trying to make a hero play and getting in and maybe losing that op, staying outside and waiting for his teammates to rotate.
Yeah, VP, just a little fun fact, is they got a team ace during that one. So they all got a kill for themselves. So now it's going to be 3-3. We'll take a look at Snacks here inside of mid. He's at that cross there. And you see the boost quickly. He did spot one. This could be a double kill. Oh my goodness, he just barely misses. They're going to quickly push up there towards that catwalk. They've already got the rotation here for Virtus.Pro. They are all set up and ready to go. Let's take a look here inside. But the problem is they got all players over there on top of that ramp, and they're trying to just pop some shots right now.
Yeah, and they just got kind of stuck there, and they weren't able to be effective. You could see there was some miscommunication, maybe trying to boost somebody up into the bomb site, and the other player not realizing he was talking to him and wanted him up there.
There's one player, though. Look out. I believe that's going to be Olafmeister creeping right around the corner. He's going to be flanking here shortly, but it's not going to make a difference here because the last man standing is going to be Bialy inside of CT spawn. So Fnatic being very, very aggressive, but even more so, Snacks didn't hit that first shot to start the round off.
Right. To slow that cat rush down. That would have put a big stop to that. But also, just so many of those VP players getting stuck on that ramp and not actually being in the bomb site.
Right.
And it's a much easier fight, especially as more Fnatic players storm off that catwalk and get more range closer down to elbow. There's so many different angles and such a hard shot to hit when there's just 3 terrorists shooting at you.
All right, so now we're going to see a complete save here from Virtus.Pro. Only a CZ and 2 P250s on that side. No armor, no nades. And you've got JW watching the cross, and Bialy, he's going to get by there. So he's going to get as close as possible. He does have a P250. He doesn't have that CZ that I mentioned before. So typically you'll see that CZ kind of charge. And now he knows that he's right around the corner. Picks up the op shot there. Yeah, so now, as As we look at it, you see they're going to start to push out there, exchanging that for that P250 pistol. There's going to be a player right around the corner. That will be Pasha. Pasha will fall. But we'll swing back around here to Virtus.Pro Snacks, who's inside. Now they will pick off Flusha, which will provide Neo with an AK. That's going to be good enough. He'll probably end up dropping that to Taz, even though Taz has barely a little bit more health than Neo did. So now we've got Snacks here inside of mid. They haven't planted the bomb yet. Now it should be going down. And so you can see that they were going to try to clear out the tunnels first.
And to say this AK, I'm not sure I like how split up VP is. You know, this AK could be so important for their economy in this next round. Maybe keep some of these pistols around them as like bodyguards just to kind of help them save it.
You know, one of the things I'll mention here briefly while we wait for the end of this round to kind of tick away was one of the things. Did you notice? And this is, I mean, again, this is simple things to me sometimes. Is Taz, instead of just running across or trying to jump across the doorway whenever he's going from, he was inside of the B-bomb site, and those double doors, instead of just jumping across, he went ahead and jumped up on top of the big box inside of the site, and then jumps over, so he was not seen at all when he crossed. It's just those little, those little things. So whenever he jumped across here, you couldn't even see him. We were watching JW's perspective, and he didn't even see him cross over. Just the little things. Those are those details that I think makes the difference, because he could have been picked. They could have lost that AK, and Neo would have had to rush all the way back around to pick that AK back up. So let's see what he does with that AK now.
He's going to be at long. He's just holding this. He's just going to hold it for them and fall back towards A. We had another stack in mid, but they've actually fallen off of it now.
Oh, and Taz has been naded, and they probably made the call out. They heard that first hit on the player. And so now they're going to kind of get boosted up there. Snacks right around the corner. Taz, he's going to fall. They're just spamming those doors. We still have Neo. I think Neo rotated back inside of the A-bomb site. And they left Biale right there with that Deagle. Trying to get the cross here. Picks up the first one. They're not afraid, though. They were not deterred to move away from that middle double doors. And JW with a nice pick there through those double doors into Pasha.
They're always so prepared for a second player to come swinging out. You know, you don't see these Fnatic players ever getting caught off guard, really. And that could have been such a sticky situation with just one more kill in that small choke point.
JW just picking up that CZ. There's a player, Neo, right around the corner. He picks up the first one onto JW, and it will change his angle now. He has an opportunity to pick off two, and now he's going to rotate back around. Now there's something to it. There was as he picks off the headshot into Crims. It's 15 seconds left here in the round. He does pick himself up an AK, and he's going to work around here. Pronax just on the other side. He had a smoke grenade to waste. Pronax just on top. He's right there at the window. So Biale just on the other side. He's going to try to check the angle. And Pronax, he gave away his position just temporarily. He kind of may know that he's over there towards his site. Pronax on the back side of that bomb site. Bomb ticking away right now. And so understanding where the position is, you can see now Biale realizes it may be a little bit safer, but he does not have a kit. There is an op over here if he wants to try to find it. He actually passes by the op. Oh, says, wait a minute. I think it's somewhere over here. There we go. Luckily enough, the Dragon Lore is very bright. And it makes it a little bit easier for him to find it. So he'll save that AWP, either toss it over to Snacks or Pasha going into this next one here.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go for that. I mean, I know the smoke was just delaying him so much, and he was at a major disadvantage. But that could have been a massive round to win, and he had the full bomb timer to make a play. But you know, picking up that op is actually a really nice consolation prize on this. You know, saving about $2,200 for Pasha.
And it was an eco round. They did save the AK from the previous round, but it was an eco there. So now Pasha, he's going to be completely blind trying to run away, but there's not any action over there. Really, Snacks getting the mid pick, as a lot of players are completely blind, but does Pasha know that there's some action over there towards Catwalk? He really doesn't even have to worry about it, because Neo is shutting it down. He's picked up two so far, and he's looking for his third onto Flusha, but Flusha with only 2 HP and an overkill from Pasha as they lock that one down. So flashbangs galore, and Virtus.Pro holds it down. And Neo, again, doing a great job. He's playing so well right now, 14-8. And if you look at the rest of his team, maybe they just don't even get the chance because he's picking up most of those kills.
Yeah, and they're all, they were all such impact. Saving them from that mid B split, kind of running through that smoke and getting 2 impact frags, saving them from that, that retake when Fnatic was holding A. So he is just having such a massive impact.
Oh, great trade there. I was going to mention JW. He's sitting at 16 now, 17 kills, but he gets traded there. And so Pasha asks, "Hey, were you blind?" Says, "Nah, maybe a little." But in the end, he ends up getting picked off there. So now that's how things are going to start, that early trade. And so you got 1 player inside of B, 1 player watching from CT spawn inside of to watch mid, and then 2 players kind of at close quarters, 1 over towards Cat and 1 in CT spawn watching over there towards long A. So they're really grouped up and ready to rotate if needed. But that may be a little bit too passive for long A. But that's not really going to be a factor here as they're heading over here towards Catwalk in that mid-region here. Yeah. Aids raining in. Bialy going to get dropped down to 54 HP. Nice flashbang. He will get taken down. Now, Neo, he has to make these shots, but the reality is the bomb is being taken over there towards the B-bomb site, and Taz has not moved yet. So he's holding this angle right now. We'll see if he checks the spots here, and we'll just see what stay with him now. Taz able to pick up at least 1. And now it's going to be down to this 2-on-2. Snacks watching, trying to watch that cross there. Going to be able to push it there inside of the site. Bomb carrier Crim's going to go ahead and try to get that bomb planted. Neo going to go ahead and push here inside of the site. He put a smoke over there so he can smoke off over there towards Plat and get this easy entrance. But Olofmeister, he's going to be right there. That smoke actually ended up a little bit too short there and made it even worse for his case there. So he was trying to put that smoke even further out there to block off the platform, but it ended up falling too short.
Yeah, and forcing himself to run through it. Really, really bad situation, especially after his teammate gets picked off outside of B.
Yeah, we're looking for that smoke to kind of fall in this area, which would kind of block the visual for the opponent. But in fact, he actually hit this area right here. Of course, everyone can know it from there. That blocked the visual for himself and made it very easy for his opponent. Now let's go ahead and switch over here to JW. JW on a quick. He's trying to get that pick. He does. He takes down Neo. And so we'll see what that battle will continue with as Bialy's going to be over there. And it looks like Snacks is going to regroup with him over there towards long A. Bialy has not challenged here, and JW is just going to hold this angle. Now, there was action inside of mid. Pronax was over that headshot box, or that boost box to Catwalk, and he ends up getting taken down by Pasha. So we're still holding with him right now. Not much other action happening around the map. And so JW is going to pull off his point. And they've actually got, so we'll take a look here at the map overall. So Snacks is over here on top of Catwalk. You've got Pasha watching inside of mid, and then, of course, Taz here inside of the B-bomb site.
Yeah, and on these slower paced rounds, they're really taking this mid control. They're just, that's what they want to do when they're taking it slow. And now you see this boost from JW to catch someone peeking out, but the defenders in the B-bomb site are coupled at the window.
Let's take a look from JW real fast, what you're talking about. He's peering over the top. And so Crims is going to get that pick. So if JW is going to hold this position, nice shot by JW, taking down Pasha. Again, that boost up onto Catwalk and that right amount of cover fire there. Now it's going to be Snacks is going to be watching the rotate. Now I believe they may be, yep, they're going to be crossing there towards off of Catwalk. And just over the head, he had just a perfect chance to get that headshot. But now he's going to be down to this 1-on-3. Not a lot of time to work with here. 10 seconds left here in the round, and they will get the bomb planted for Catwalk. JW going to press out there and watch towards long A, and Flusha is going to try to clear out here towards Catwalk. He will not see Snacks on the rotate. Snacks is going to hold on to this AWP for the next round, but there's going to be Flusha right there challenging him. And now that's going to kind of force that manhunt. They're going to be chasing after him pretty quickly. Let's take a look at the overview while we have a chance. That's Olofmeister going to be coming right here towards the middle area. And Snacks is in a very tough spot here inside of spawn. They're jump peeking him. And nice shot there by Snacks, getting that shot. And he's going to go ahead and fall. He knows that is a possible exit. And will JW find him here? It will not happen. So 7, make that 8-4 in favor of Fnatic.
And Fnatic, we see it so often with that map control that they have, and they just position themselves and they just wait. They wait for those CTs to peek and get information, and for the rotations. And what happened there was Crims actually getting that kill on Bialy, trying to push out long and flank, really forced a rotation from those B players, and that's how that boost that JW became so effective when he was rotating out.
And look at that, Stacks getting the peek there onto JW. JW has been very effective in being able to take him out early in the round. Will be beneficial for Virtus.Pro.
And that's a huge pick to get, because JW with 19 kills leading the way, getting all the major frags for his team, really opening up rounds for them.
All right, so now we've got Taz who's holding over here. This is a save round. The only op, again, that op that Snack saved is what's going to be the factor here.
And once again, Fnatic just taking it slow, and you see Olafmeister coming to meet up with Pronax in middle, having that lower B and having that mid control, and just kind of waiting.
So we'll take a look at the setup. You can see that you have Taz waiting right here, watching this cross here, and Snacks will be inside of the B bomb site to provide that support as needed. You also have Bialy is watching over there towards Catwalk, and Pasha right behind him to, again, provide that support. So you'll see Bialy probably fall off of Catwalk once he's been spotted, but Neo is going to be right there around the corner. Flashbang coming out, and that was Pasha's flashbang. And so now they know how to work this angle here. Pasha spots him from afar. Now they, of course, got one player to worry about over on Catwalk. That's going to be Flusha. So Pasha is finally going to fall. Snack's going to be rotating quickly here. Now this is going to be that judgmental call, whether they want to try to save this off in the end. They haven't made it towards the site. Now they're evening things back down, as it's down to this 3-on-2. Nice shot by Olafmeister as Bialy just jumps to peek the area. And so now Snacks is just seeing if he can get that one pick. If he can get that pick, he'll execute from here.
Yeah, and Fnatic's not going to give it to him, so he's just going to end up trying to save this. But he actually has a Fnatic player, Crims, coming through long to kind of cut off his rotation, thinking maybe he already fell back, but he's still just sitting on Cat.
Yeah, so he's going to hold this angle for a little bit longer, and you can see that Snacks is going to check over there, watching his Catwalk. There's that player there. Now they know where he's at, and of course you still have Olafmeister, who's going to be right over there towards the Catwalk area. He may have a quicker way to get to him, and smart by Snacks, he's going to push back towards where the bomb was, because it's highly unlikely that they're going to be there, of course. So now we've got 9-4, a 5-round lead here in favor of Fnatic, and Snacks has held on to that AWP for a while now.
Yeah, and picking up that CC for the combination.
So Pasha, he's got himself an M4. There's the op there. And so they're really looking to try to make something happen. So they'll go for that shock and awe factor, and having Snacks go quickly over there towards Catwalk. Going to be pushing up. Nice op headshot, taking down JW again, getting that key component to Fnatic and winning these rounds. So he drops JW.
Yeah, and another time where Fnatic switched it up and wanted to get that fast Catwalk executed, and we saw Snacks miss the shot from middle, but that push on Catwalk made it easy for him.
All right, so now we have it. We've got Olafmeister, who's working over there towards Catwalk right now. And Neo is just on the other side. He's peering over. And it looks like they've got a couple players heading over here towards Catwalk. And a nice shot by Neo.
Now it's Pronax's turn.
Pronax right there will get the upper hand. Snack's going to start to rotate. But really, you should probably hold that area down, because they're going to be smoking off inside of mid. And now they're going to go ahead and work their way back towards Catwalk. 40 seconds, lots of time to play with. So they still have Flusha over here towards Catwalk.
Right, and that smoke middle that they threw really forced VP to kind of find out if they were actually executing out mid in this 3-on-4. And it caused a peak, and Flush actually came on the bad side of it with only 24 health left.
And so Pasha is going to fall, but that was over there towards that Catwalk. The real action is going to be heading over here towards Long A. There you have it. Snacks getting a pick there. And now they know the last player is over there towards Catwalk. That was Flusha. And so now the score is going to be 9-5, and they will pick up the op there. And so
Bialy with so much composure there, getting pitched in that bomb site, handling it perfectly, getting that pick long after Snacks did, and then turning around to watch his flank.
All right, so here's the final round of the first half. Virtus.Pro really needs to win this one.
They have a lot of momentum going from them. They've been playing really well in these last few rounds, and Snacks gets another pick up middle.
Yeah, Olafmeister right there inside of spawn. That op will get picked back up, though. And so we'll see what happens. He actually ends up trying to push up in a very risky play by Pronax. He pushes through the smoke, and it pays off by taking down Snacks. So now they're going to continue to work over here towards this area. Firebomb going to come out there. That's going to be a great placement for it. He's going to go ahead and push through the smoke. There's only going to be one player out there in the open. They've actually forced JW in the corner. And that CZ's coming out there. JW will pick up the kill, but Bialy will quickly answer back. And Taz right there inside the site is going to be already back down to a 1-on-2. The bomb is down inside the site, and Bialy picking up the kill, 6-9. As Virtus.Pro are just down by 3. Yeah, that's a tough one, but I think they really kind of brought it back to where you want to be on a map like Dust 2. So 9-6, that's right around that area where you want to end up.
Well, we talked about how good Neo was playing, and they were still losing some rounds. He was helping them win some, but even with his frags, they weren't helping out. And then Snacks picking up that AWP. Such an impact for his team once he got that weapon in his hands, and he caused the momentum to really shift and let them pick up the last couple rounds.
So Virtus.Pro. Of course, this is the second best of 3. This is the first map of this best of 3. And if you're just now tuning in, the next map will be Train, where Fnatic will be starting off on the CT side. And let me tell you one more thing that's even more interesting than that. The next map will be Nuke, and Fnatic will start off on the CT side for that one as well. So put that into perspective.
And that's why this map is so important for Virtus.Pro to win. Coming up, the 2 tall tasks to win those maps starting on the Terra side. Some of the more CT-sided maps we have in the rotation.
So now we'll have getting ready for the second half, but you really got to give it up to Snacks. Even though he started off a little slow there in the first half, he then picked it up there at the end. It was really, they kind of shifted the weight from Neo, and Neo making some really great kills and making things happen. They shifted that weight over to Snacks, and Snacks finally started to pick up some ground there. It really can kind of go back to a couple rounds where if Snacks would have gotten that kill, they would have probably, it would have bettered their chances. Whether they would have won the round or not, I don't know. But it would have bettered their chances at least. Yeah,
and Snacks with that AWP really helped them handle the transition that Fnatic was doing from their slower, more tactical-based tactics to the fast-paced, just blunt force into a portion of the map. And he was able to handle both of those styles very effectively.
So we'll be going live right now here. Let's see what they end up doing. You've got Neo, who was kind of spotting mid just temporarily. And they're probably going to be heading over here towards Long A. Challenging will be JW. He only spotted one player, but that's going to be enough. He's going to draw them out. He's baiting them in and forcing them to have to make a move. And Pronax, he's taken out at least one, but 3 of the Fnatic members have fallen. And Flush is going to be rotating there. You've got 2 players now inside a CT spawn. They're going to bunker down and see how many kills they can get. The bomb carrier will make his way inside of the site. And of course, you have Neo, who's low on health. He's down to 6 HP. And the bomb has actually been planted deeper into the site. So it's not planted for Long A. So if Taz got put into a tough situation, you don't want to have him all the way back there. But there's going to be one player that's going to be flanking. That's going to be Flusha. So that one-on-one battle will continue between Flusha and Taz.
And no kits on these 2 CT players.
And so they're going to be able to push up. Taz able to get that kill. Now they can kind of fall back, and they can watch this cross, and it's going to be pretty good for VP as they pick up the pistol round. So 7-9 now.
Right, and so smart by Virtus.Pro, knowing that one is long and one was going to be CT or Cat, and making the call that instead of leaving their long player up to a one-on-one battle, just having him come back and all 3 just collapsing on the one player coming up the CT ramp.
Just pure communication and teamwork, really having an understanding not only of what your players are doing, but also understanding where your opponents lie. And from there, you can really move those chess pieces where needed to get that victory.
Right. And we see a double scout from Fnatic right now.
So we'll take a look. That's from Flusha and from Pronax. Pronax inside of mid with his scout. And then you have Flusha, who's just going to go for the jumping scout. He does have a teammate there with him. That is Crims. Nade's going to come in, causes so much damage, even gives him out a little bit, and he will fall as now it's going to be Crims who's going to watch over there inside of mid. The CT side has been smoked off. Olafmeister was taken out over there. We'll go and switch to that perspective as JW ends up picking up the kill. They end up picking up the scout and tossing it back. They didn't want them to have another weapon to be able to take them out, but we'll switch over to Flusha and Crims. Crims causing so much damage. Now we're back over here with Flusha. There will be a flank, or not a flank, but JW will be on the rotate from CT spawn. Flusha just tapping away, allowing JW to rotate. He does pick himself up an AK. Now this is JW that we know. He's going to just kind of had a challenge for a little bit. And he gets that shot through the door. Look at him. He's still going to try to make something happen with this 1-on-2. He has some time to work with. He doesn't have a kit, but he does have some time. And Taz is just on the other side. Just kind of see if he can get somebody to pull from their position. And Pasha will hold that angle and pick up the round. But you had right there JW causing a lot of damage there at the end.
And he even did some damage to Taz through the box in that, just that spray, just to kind of check and see if someone was there. And, you know, that goes like 1 inch to the left and hits him in the head. That's all of a sudden a one-on-one. And JW is getting so dangerous.
So 9-8 in favor of Fnatic. And they will see a complete save. We only see a P250 in the hands of JW. So flashbang coming over there towards long A. But that's just going to be a deterrent for a moment.
VP playing it really safe, sitting far back, watching for the long pushes. Just in tunnels, just kind of, you know, making sure they're not going to get aggressed on middle anywhere.
And right now you have some action happening there inside of mid. And Mac-10 being brought to you by Snacks. Who's got this Mac-10 here inside of mid? It's a clean looking Mac-10 though.
Yep. Now after this mid control, VP's kind of, you know, still trying to figure out. They know there's some players in mid shooting out through the smoke. They're trying to figure out where they want to go, and Snacks gets a nice shot with that Mac-10.
So Taz is holding these angles to see if they might try to flank quickly. That's just not going to happen. So they're not pushing. They're not overextending right there. Snacks taking down another one inside of mid. And Pasha immediately is going to watch the flank here. That's just great awareness. And that battle's so far, it's going back and forth. Olofmeister will finally get taken out. And now it's left up to Flusha. Nice shot by Flusha. And
yeah, just cleaning up that kill.
Get himself a Galil out of that. Not a lot of time to work with here, though. So you got Taz and Bialy here with their AKs. You'll see Neo kind of chase after this Galil. But really not much to it here as he's ran out of ammo. And he's just going to kind of draw in some fire here. Going to be that distraction, telling him to look over here. And
with that Mac-10.
Snacks with another Mac-10 kill. So that's 3 in that round. So 9-9. We're here in the second map here of this second best of 3. If you're tuning in just now, the first best of 3 went to Fnatic 2-0. They won Cash and Mirage, both of them 16-10. And that brought us to our first map here on this second best of 3.
And check out Snacks. He's going to go for a quick long pick with that op.
He picks off JW.
That's so effective, this map, with that op so far, Snacks has been.
He started heating up initially. He started off a little slow, but now he's playing what he's known for. Of course, we checked out some of the stats and the player ratings from HLTV.org, given the fact that Snacks had the highest player rating on Virtus.Pro. So he's been playing extremely well for VP to get them to the point in the finals. Now you've got Olofmeister. And so now we'll see Olofmeister. He's taking down Neo. Holding down over here towards Catwalk. Another tap there. Bialy, he's going to fall. And so now it's going to be down to this 2-on-3. Both of them are up on top of Catwalk. Now it's down to this 2-on-2. And trying to work and see if they can get the bomb planted. Some cover fire there by Pasha. Bomb is going to be planted. They know where he's at. Taz able to take down one. Now they know exactly where one another are located at. And so Krim's over the top. He's going to back up just to get a better view. And he picks up the kill there. And so now the score is going to be 10-9 from our first gun round. And so Fnatic leading here on Dust 2.
And that round was won by Pronax at long, coming back, smoking off those double doors at long A, and coming back to assist his teammate and just throwing flashes at the elbow of that A bomb site, preventing the Virtus.Pro players from being able to get a clean shot. Some of them were completely blind, allowed Olofmeister to get 2 kills, and really just delay until his teammates showed up from B to help out.
So we'll see. An op was dropped there for Snacks. Snacks has been very effective. He doesn't really have the angle that he needs there. He does, I believe he spotted just the edge, and he does not hit JW there. JW on the other side will switch to his perspective now that he has moved his position to watch over there towards Catwalk now. There's a little bit of gunfire there inside of mid. Going to nade out past there, but that's not going to cause any damage.
And VP has this mid control again, so they're kind of going along the same path that that Fnatic was, taking control of this mid. Bialy always sitting back a little bit to watch that long flank. but they're not only taking control of mid, but they're really clearing Cat up. They want to push him off those stairs if they happen to be playing there, and JW just moves in right after he clears it to this angle, and this could be dangerous if he's not expecting this move.
And Krems, he's going to fall to Snacks. Now they've got 50 seconds. They don't have to execute just yet. And now there's some action that's happening inside of mid right now. And they're going to go back and forth. The bomb carrier is starting to move over here towards that B bomb site. You have seen them start to rotate. Pasha has picked up 2 so far. And they're going to work their way here inside of the site. Let's go ahead and switch over here to the defense. That being Pronax and Olofmeister. And Olofmeister's going to sit here inside of CT spawn. Pronax has already said, you know what, I'm going to keep this from us. I also have 2 flashbangs and a grenade. So we'll see. Olofmeister might be able to get an exit here.
Yeah, especially because Neo didn't see him at all as he crossed long. It might catch Taz off guard.
He's going to let one go by. But he's going to check the angle there. So
he's just dedicated to the save. He's not even going to go for the kill. He just wants to save that weapon.
And so now he's going to be able to peek out. Does take out one. And I believe he took out Snacks, which was the AWPer. And he's hoping in that AWP is going to ricochet off. He picks it up. That was just a great way to end that round. He picks off the one person that Virtus.Pro didn't want to let that one go. That was a very expensive kill there.
Yeah, and now Snacks can't afford an AWP. None of the players can drop him an AWP.
Wow. Again, Taz, he had said, you saw the exit there going through CT spawn. Great job by Olofmeister. So, sometimes it's not always about getting that immediate kill. And so right there you saw what Olofmeister able to do, and it even paid off even more probably than he thought it could by getting that off from that situation. Olofmeister trying to get that quick boost up onto Catwalk. JW's going to be pushing over there towards that CT, or through mid. He was going to get disconnected there. Now we're back over with Snacks, who's challenging here, chasing after the kill. He caused a lot of damage, but he will stay alive. That nade will come in from his teammate. I think it ricocheted off the door and ended up TKing there in the end. Now it's going to be left up to Olofmeister. This is the AWP that he had picked up from Snacks, and he really didn't do much with it.
No, but VP kind of has a little bit of a tough decision to make, whether to chase after this AWP, which it looks like they're going to do. Their economy isn't great, but I think they're placing a higher priority on getting the AWP out of his hands, even willing to sacrifice some of their own weapons to do it.
So we'll see. They're kind of crossing. Right now he's going through back towards that T-spawn, and Neo's going to be there. Great shot by Olofmeister, but he will lose that AWP. But in return, Pasha will pick it up for, I believe it's going to be Snacks here again, because Snacks has been so effective.
Yeah, I mean, he's been out-opping JW pretty often with it.
So that AWP is going to be handed over all the way down to Neo. That's a smart play here. The reason why, of course, is because of the spawn that he's in, so we'll stay with him.
Another eco from Fnatic this round as well.
You mentioned this before. I mean, having that many successful AWPers, that's one of the things that I always find interesting is how you kind of, a lot of teams like to try to designate their AWPer. You can always have the best AWPer on your team, but designated one may, maybe a disadvantage at times. As now you have Snacks right there pushing up, getting that pick. Of course, this is a eco round for Fnatic. Go ahead and kind of push up here. JW getting that pick. So now you've got JW right there inside of mid. Tapping away will be Snacks. So now you got Flusha right here inside of CT spawn. Bomb going to be ticking away. Now the main goal right now for Virtus.Pro is to find a clean exit. Find that right opening, and
they're going to get it.
They'll end up winning that round there. So 12-10. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want you to call me out if you disagree with this. I mean, one of the things that I see a lot of, I mean, if we talk about like a good example would be like iBuyPower. They only have 1 to 2 AWPers, and here we see on both of these teams where Olofmeister, JW, both of those players can AWP very well. Then you have from Virtus.Pro, you have 3 different types of AWPers over there. How much I really see a lot of times where teams will only choose one AWPer and try to run with that, but how effective it's been from Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, and a lot of it goes to the in-game leader as Crimson gets a kill here, but let's get into the round. We'll talk about it afterwards.
That sounds good. So right now we've got that double AWP set up here from Fnatic, and a pick there from Snacks over the top. Olofmeister, who's paying attention to that exact spot, but he gets the jump on him. So JW watching there towards the CT spawn. Now you've got Taz, who's over by Catwalk. There's some action that's going to happen over here towards Long A.
Yeah, Pronax in a great position right here.
And quickly, Pronax is not going to wait or try to work any angles there. He's going to win that one quickly. And so Snax picking up another one. He's going to rush right in towards the site. He can try to get this plant for Catwalk. There's no contest there towards Long A.
Now, Pronax is playing this pretty smart. Knowing he's up against an op, he actually rotated off Long because he knows that his presence there killing Neo is going to keep their attention at Long in some degree.
And that was Snax who tried to pick up that kill and quickly will be traded there by Pronax. And so now the score is going to be 12-11. We'll look at the economical status here from Virtus.Pro. They're sitting fine.
And to go back to that point about the oppers, I mean, part of it is just, you know, as you're looking at Fnatic, we saw on Mirage, Olaf Meister and JW both going into that palace with the op, and you see stylistically the kind of fights they want to take, and the kind of, you know, sometimes it just comes down to certain players enjoy taking fights in certain situations more than other players do. And as an in-game leader, when you start to understand that, you can really manipulate where you're going to position those oppers and who you want to have an op in a certain hand. And sometimes it just comes down to the spawn you get if you want to go for that long pick here at Dust 2.
That's one of the things that I really love about it is the spawn aspect of it, because from there immediately you can rely on it saying, okay, we have this key piece, we can use it based off of the spawns that we're getting. You see Olaf Meister getting quickly boosted and taking down Taz over there on Catwalk. So Olaf Meister starting things off. Pronax will pick off Pasha. And that action's happening over there towards Long A. Let's see if we can find it for a moment. So that's Pronax, and he'll take down Snax as well. And you mentioned how pivotal to me it is to win this map for Virtus.Pro. And so now it's going to be right there. You're down to a 1 versus 3. 2 ops left in the hands here. He's in a really tough spot now.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble right here, getting pinched from 3 different locations.
And JW has that CZ, so he's going to go for those jumping CZs. And so now that's going to go ahead and do it right there. Of course, Hollow Meister can pick up the op again.
And you can see when Snax doesn't have this op, how much more of a map presence that the Fnatic players have. He's been so good at getting that opening pick and just gaining so much map control for Virtus.Pro. And when he doesn't have it, doesn't have that op in that hot hand, they're really struggling to find ground across the map.
So now we'll see Snax. He's got the op. See if he can win this op battle inside of mid, or at least get a pick on the cross. So watching the cross. Seeing he's got 2 players double scup, and he will at least take out 1, but that right there tells you something. It takes 2 ops to take down Snax.
And it also shows you that how much attention that Fnatic is putting on taking that op out of Snax's hands, dedicating 2 oppers of their own to try and fight him.
I just love that. They sent 2 players across, and then they sent 2 players for the pick. Therefore, Fnatic, just to get the op out of their hands. But remember, we talked about it for a moment. Neo is also a really great opper, as well as Pasha, of course, in this situation.
Right, but now you see with Pronax picking up that kill along, you know, the Virtus.Pro players are really stuck in this middle, and they don't have a lot to work with here.
So that nade's going to try to slow them down.
And with Crimson's position in B, Neo's not going to really be able to find a pick that well.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Crims right here. This is the same position that we see from him, or from Taz from last time. They are trying to really watch that angle. So we'll switch back here to Crims. And there's the flashbang. They don't actually check the spot. And there it goes, Neo. He's also going to get taken down. So 13-12. Again, that opening pick. And shutting down Snax and taking that off out of their hands. That was an expensive round for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, and Crims on this defensive half of the map, it's just such a monster. Over and over again, we saw him do such great magic on an eco round on Mirage, and even on Inferno, we see him in that bomb site B. He just plays so well on in his defensive situations.
So we'll take a look here. Virtus.Pro, they know how necessary it is to win this round. So they've got AKs, Galils, and CZs. They've got 1 player pushing up towards Catwalk very quickly. Going to go right through the smoke, and there's going to be Pronax right there to meet him. So now they're going to go to work their way up towards Long A. Right now there's going to be 1 player that's going to be inside of the site. That is going to be JW, and we'll stay on with him for just a little bit. There is 1 player down below. Flashbang over the top. It will not even affect Taz, but it doesn't even make a difference because JW will get the pick. What a shot by JW, looking for the 3rd one. But again, what an amazing shot by him, and that nade is going to fall in perfectly. And so now it's left up here to Pasha. Pasha down to this 1 versus 3. He's been spotted and he will be eliminated there 14-12. That was just impressive watching JW play.
Yeah, and how do you counter that? How do you fight shots that are being hit like that? It's just such amazing individual play out of him, and he's at the top of the scoreboard with 30 frags, leading all players right now on this map.
Man, oh man.
Virtus.Pro actually choosing to sacrifice to let Fnatic get to the tie point, just in an effort probably to get an op back in Snax' hands, but they wouldn't even have enough money to get anything, AKs or smokes or anything, and they need those.
So we'll look at the defensive setup over here towards B, and Olofmeister was pushing up there inside of mid. He got 1. There's gonna be another play. It's gonna be a 3-1 split now. Gonna be pushing here inside the site, just trying to get this bomb planted, and Crims and Olofmeister will shut this one down. 15-12 here on map 1. Again, Fnatic, they won that first best of 3 series 2-0, both maps 16-10. And Dust 2 right now looking very pretty for Fnatic.
Yeah, and VP, they haven't been able to find any, like, all their successes come from Snax getting picked to the top, and now they're doing their own double op setup.
Trying to get that cross and actually hit Flusha down to 9 health. So didn't end up taking him out of the round, but did cause quite a bit of damage. Got JW working the angle here. He wins against Pasha there.
So good at that aggressive peeking with the op.
And there you go, Taz with an incredible shot there. Getting that cross, getting the upper hand there onto Olofmeister.
It looks like Snax is going to come out in the middle, and he's just going to try and pick into CT spawn. He might just hang out here and wait for a little bit and maybe see if someone's going to try and rotate or even just peek from that corner to cover mid.
He does have a player here. You can see that they're smoking off. They may come from both CT spawn and catwalk at the same time. Fall back. That actually allowed Neo to get into. Oh, he thought he was in good position. Now he's going to get dropped down to 2 HP, so he just stays on for a little bit longer. Now they're going to try to be able to work over here towards catwalk quickly, but they do not know that it's been completely cleared out. They've actually got Pronex. He's pushed all the way up towards long A, which leaves A completely open.
This just looks like a save, to be honest with you. It almost looks like they're just calling save right off the bat.
They've got 2 more rounds to play with here. Going to go ahead and
that positioning by Neo is so crucial, just cutting off any rotates.
So he has the op here, and he was just kind of nervous to pick it up. And he's just checking all of the spots, making sure there's not some crazy boost you have to worry about. So they'll save these ops. You can see that they all have their own location here in each part of the map. Pronax watching the cross here. You've got one player watching the tunnels and then one watching here. So they all kind of cover themselves, kind of block this barrier here. But all the weapons will be saved over here.
Yeah, but Fnatic choosing to save there, they just don't want the economy to play a factor at all in these last 2 rounds. They want to make sure that they have 2 really great chances to close this match out.
So double ops from both sides. Olofmeister, JW, Pasha, and Snax. We'll see what happens here on this double op. So you have Snax who goes to below and Pasha up above. And Crims gets dropped down to 19 HP. So again, this is a double op. You got Olofmeister who's trying to work here to watch from the backside of B with this AWP.
Yeah, and we saw actually Snax get a great pick on Crims earlier. You know, he wasn't opping, but from that same position, Snax was just so fast and just snuck out and got the pick. But there is a little bit of crack in that smoke as it disappears, so it doesn't really matter.
And Olofmeister wins against Snax, and that's what you've been looking for Fnatic's perspective for a while now, is getting that upper hand. So now again, Crims still low on health. Maybe heading over there. They got 2 players that are pushed up over there towards catwalk. Pronex is going to let 1 go by. He's been able to pick up 2, and now it's going to be left up to Pasha and Neo. 50 seconds left here in the round, so they're going to kind of pull themselves back, pull on the reins a little bit before they decide to execute. There's only 1 player inside of the site. That is going to be Flusha. Crims still inside of CT spawn. Olofmeister is pushed all the way out, so they know that they've cleared out the site at least. They've got 1 player over there on the ramp. Here comes some nades. Nades only cost down to 70 HP. Pasha right over the top. He's going to fall. Now it's going to be left up to Neo. Neo down to this 1-on-3, and that's going to do it. Map number 1 goes to Fnatic. 16-13 here in the second best of 3.
And good play by flusha there, not overcommitting to that fight against those the two terrorists coming out of Catwalk, Pasha and Neo, but staying on that ramp.